जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदान्त इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। कि बजयो जयो गोरा चांदे आरती की शोभा। 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 जानवी तातावाने जगमन लोभा। जानवी तातावाने गमन लोभा। कि बदखीन निताय चा वामे गदाधार। कि बदखीन निताय चा वामे गदाधारा। निकाते अद्वैता सेने वशा चक्रधारा। निकाते अद्वैता सेने वशा चक्रधारा। कि बबशी आछे गोराचा रत्ना सिंहासने। कि बबशी आछे गोराचा रत्ना सिंहासने। आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगणे। आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगणे। कि बनरा आदिको रे चामारा धुलाया कि बनरा हरे आदिको रे चामारा धुलाया संजया मुकुंद बाशो घोष आदि गाया संजया मुकुंद बाशो घोष आदि गाया केव शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला केव शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परामरशाला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परामरशाला शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे 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 गौरांग आरती की शोभा जगा जन मान लोभा गौरांग आरती की शोभा जगा जन मान लोभा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल कि बाहु कोटि चंद्राजिनी वदन उजाला कि बाहु कोटि चंद्राजिनी वदन उजाला गाला देशवाना माला करे झलमाला देशवाना माला करे झलमाला केव शिवा शुका नारदा प्रमे गदगाज केव शिवा शुका नारदा प्रमे गदगाज बाकते विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा भाकते विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Kishore Kishori, 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 Jaya किशोर किशोरी जय किशोर किशोर जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्री अभय चरणारविंद ए श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती स्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामय की जय। तुलसी महारानी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरियस श्री गुरु एंड गौरंगा ऑल ग्लोरियस टू श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षा शीलटाङ्कानकलाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा Narasimha Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we welcome you all to the Sunday Feast program at Sri Sri Kishore Kishori Temple. Thank you all for coming today. First things first, there was a car which is parked in our parking lot, which is blocking a lot of other cars. It is blue color car. I don't know if anybody owns that car. Can you please remove it? It is right in the middle of the parking lot and people are not able to go in and out. So if it is our car, it will be towed very soon. So please do remove it. Also, I just want to announce the sponsors for today's Sunday Feast program. We have Pahan family on occasion of the graduation of their son, Krish. So they are sponsoring the feast today. Hare Krishna. We also have Yashwant Subodhi, and he is also sponsoring the feast along with them. We also have another sponsor, Saloni Satone, on occasion of Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Bhagwan ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadraman ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai. on occasion of passing away of Gajanan Satone, who passed away 10 days back, so they're also sponsoring. She requested all of us to pray for the departed soul. So we'll chant for all these sponsors. We'll chant one time Hare Krishna very loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Is there anybody who has come for the first time? Can they raise their hands? Please keep the raised hands. They are going to give you a small gift. All right, great. Thank you so much for coming. Please do come back again. As you know, we already have for Sunday feast every Sunday 5:30 or 5 o'clock. We start at 5 o'clock. So please do come. All right, some more announcements. I am excited to announce that we will be starting to prepare for our Rathyatra Festival, which will tentatively happen on August 6th. We got a provisional approval. So hopefully, we should start preparing for that. So August 6th, please mark your calendars. August 6th is where, and it will happen in Skokie. So this is where we'll be doing our Rathyatra. We'll be having more posters and information posted outside pretty soon. And of course, we want a lot of volunteers to come and serve during that festival. It's a very wonderful festival, as many people have been part of this before. Also, from today onwards, I have a very exciting news. There will be no prasadam in the lobby. So we're going to have prasadam, but we'll be having it on the 3rd floor. So as before, we'll be going up and having our prasadam at 6:30. There will no longer be any boxes served. So please make your way up. And we also have a very special guest today. We have His Grace Atmaram Prabhu has come all the way from Vrindavan, a very beautiful kirtanier. And he is going to do the kirtan from 7 to 8. So after you take your prasadam, please do come back and please immerse yourself in this kirtan. He is a wonderful kirtanier. You don't want to miss this. So please do come. He has come all the way from Vrindavan. Also, we do have our Sunday feast program, Sunday school program going on. So all the kids under 12 should be supervised. If they are not getting control, you can go down. There is a Sunday feast, Sunday school team who can guide you where they can be engaged. Yeah. And also for today's speaker, we have His Grace Sri Kishore Prabhu. He's come all the way from Naperville. So we'll give him a very great warm welcome by chanting Hari Bol. Hari Bol! So the theme for our month is power of association. So he's going to talk about choosing your association. So we'll hear from him. He'll be sitting right here. So please keep your mobiles on silent while he is speaking. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara. To this, towards the end of today's talk, what is this contemplation? How do we contemplate on various things? Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita actually. We'll see that towards the end of today's talk. Right now, it's my experience. Sometimes I sit in Sunday class, sometimes, my mind is somewhere else. I see, okay, what am I going to present in tomorrow's meeting with my supervisor, right? I'm sitting here, I'm hearing, I'm in presence of so many Vaishnavas, but then the thought is somewhere else. It happens with all of us, isn't it? Many times it happens. So, although we are with devotees, what are we associating with? I was associating with my supervisor actually. Thinking about what am I going to present tomorrow. Similarly, someone else may think like, okay, what will be sabji tomorrow evening, right? This can be a thought, right? Basically, although we are sitting in the physical presence of so many devotees many times, but still we may not be actually taking their association, right? We are thinking of something else. So whatever we contemplate on at any given point of time, that is what we are associating with. So this is a very subtle thing, isn't it? It's like we are constantly associating with so many thoughts. When we sit for chanting, what happens? We want to chant. We don't want to move anywhere. We want to sit and chant for 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, just chant and be happy. What is the difficulty? Right? We all know what is the difficulty, isn't it? When we sit, then there is a march past going on in our mind. Right? You see that on an Independence Day parade, they do that, right? Left, right, left, left, right, left. They keep on coming. They go for a very long distance. They go. These soldiers keep walking, right? Similarly, when we sit for our chanting, what happens? Thoughts keep coming. They are like a march past. We totally forget that sometimes we are chanting also. So we forget that because we are associating with something else. Our contemplation is somewhere totally in a different place. Although physically we are present here, our contemplation is somewhere else, right? Then we call that we associate with those thoughts. That's why it is said like our acharyas actually say, when you are chanting, try to hear the holy names. Try to be attentive to the holy names. By that what happens? We associate with Krishna. When we associate with Krishna, we develop similar qualities like Krishna, right? So if we have to define it in a practical way, so this is how the association is like generally classified into two types. Say good association and then bad association. What is good association? Anything that elevates us or keeps us in higher mode of goodness can be called as a good association, right? Sometimes it can be spiritual, sometimes it can be just very, peaceful to the mind. Right? That is a good association. Again, these are some, we cannot fit everything inside this definition, but these are very simple to understand. Right? Similarly, what is a bad association? Anything that increases our hankering, keeps us in mode of passion, sangha, trishna, right? Or anything that pushes us into the lower mode of ignorance, where we feel nidra, alasya, pramada. There is, we feel disconnected with the world, right? So that is basically that pushes us into the lower modes. These are considered to be bad association. Now, in our scriptures, there is one book called the Nectar of Instruction, which is written by Rupa Goswami. So there he actually describes like what are the things of this world that can actually help us improve our devotional service to the Lord, or those things which actually go against it. Right? He describes two categories. So we are going to look at these two categories. No need to read the entire translation. I just highlighted those parts. I'll read the verse, however. Says, this is the second verse of Nectar of Instruction. This is on this side, right? Your left. Atyahara prayasasya prajalpo niyamagraha janasangasya laulyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. It says there are 6 things. If you do these 6 things, your bhakti will be destroyed. Right? What are they? Atyahar means, Prabhupada translates it as eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Then comes prayasa. Prayasa means over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Like for example, now let us say I am 35 years old. Now I want to say, I want to become the president of US. In some cases, it may be possible, but for me, it is over endeavor, right? I am peacefully living with my family happily, and Krishna is providing whatever is necessary for me. But then I say that, no, 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 I want to rule over America. That is actually prayas. Some people are capable of doing it, they do it. But for me, it is prayas. So prayas differs from person to person, right? Then comes prajalpa. Prajalpa means, what is that? What is written here is talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. That is prajalpa. Useless talk is called prajalpa. Gossip. Gossip is a type of prajalpa. What we read in newspaper many times falls under the category of prajalpa. Right? So you can read the Nectar of Instruction to learn the entire thing. Prabhupada explains very beautifully there. Then the what is fourth one? Niyamagraha means rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. That is Niyamagraha. Then comes Janasangasya. I highlighted that. What is that? Associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Right? It cannot be avoided. When we go to workplace, that's what we do. But then please remember the definition that I gave earlier. Associating means exchanging our thoughts on various subject matters, right? We can be physically present in our office, but still think of Krishna. That is possible. We can sit in the association of devotees and still think of so many mundane things, right? So this is Janasanga. Laulya. Laulya means greed, right? Being greedy for mundane achievements. These are 6 things that destroy our bhakti. In fact, why am I quoting this? There is a reason. The reason is, our acharyas actually say that this whole cycle starts at Janasanga. That we start associating with some people who are very greedy, who are Atyahara category. You start associating with them. You feel like, okay, their lifestyle is very luxurious. Let me be like them. I want to be like them. So you associate with them, and then because of exchange of thoughts, you get some inspiration within. I want to be like them. Because of which you develop laulyam, you develop atyahar, you develop prayasa, you do prajalpa, everything happens from there, right? So you associate with some people and then you develop their qualities, right? So if you are associating with those who have all these characteristics, you obviously develop those characteristics over a period of time, right? There is a saying in English, right? Tell me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are. Right? So that happens because of this only. You associate with someone in a particular category, you develop their qualities. Similarly, there is another path which is opposite to this, where your devotional service increases. What are they? There are 6 things again. Rupa Goswami explains. They are Utsaha Nischaya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyagat Sato Vritte Shadbhir Bhakti Prasidhyati. These are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. What are they? Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. And then abandoning the association of non-devotees. That is one more thing which is given here. Right? The same thing. Right? What we see in the left side, we also see on the right side, the 5th point. And then following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. That is, what is that? Sangatyagat is the 5th one, Satovritte is the 6th one. So these 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of a pure devotion of pure devotional service. Now guess where does this start? Point 6, right? It starts at point 6. When you start following the footsteps of great acharyas, you are actually associating with them. When you associate with them, then you will become enthusiastic, you will become confident. You want to practice devotional service because you are getting your inspiration from that kind of personality, right? Just like we come and hear the story of Srila Prabhupada. I am sure everyone who came to ISKCON in the very beginning days, you heard of Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? Very, very beginning days. Everyone wants to tell about Srila Prabhupada because we take our pride in following such acharya, right? And we tell that to others also. Those who are newcomers, we tell them, this is Srila Prabhupada, who is a world-renowned acharya, who came to the West at a very ripe old age, but still he was very successful in establishing the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We tell this. That brings some inspiration. Why? Because we are actually associating with the story of Srila Prabhupada, with the life of Srila Prabhupada, right? And that brings us some inspiration. Wow, this is so nice. I want to make myself as pure as this person. That kind of thought takes birth in our heart, right? And that's how we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. So these are two different paths, but both of them start with association. Associate with right kind of people, you develop right qualities. Associate with another kind of people, you develop those qualities. It's like that. So now let us see some of the case studies from the scriptures. We'll see 4 stories, 4 of them. 2 are the example of those who had bad association, and 2 are the examples of those who have good association, and how that association actually helped them or changed their entire course of life. You all are aware of Ramayana, right? You know the story also. Kaikeyi, who is the mother of Bharata, one of the brothers of Sri Ramachandra. So she was actually more affectionate towards Ramachandra than his own mother Kaushalya, right? So Kaikeyi was more affectionate, and Kaikeyi had more affection towards Ramachandra than her own son Bharata. She was so intimately connected with Ramachandra. And when she came to know the news that she is going to, Ramachandra is going to be coronated, she was so happy. But then from whom did she hear this news? She heard from Mantra, right? This lady, which I am going to show in the next slide, she came and told that your Ramachandra is going to be coronated. And what was Kaikeyi's expression at that time? She was jubilant. Wow, such a nice news. Please take this garland, or some pearl garland. Take it. What did Mandara do? She threw it to the ground. She said, you are happy? You fool. You are going to be the servant of your Kausalya and Sumitra. That's what is your position going to be. So you don't know what is going to happen. They all devised a plan against you. So what did Kaikeyi do at that time? She started associating with Manthara's thoughts. And what is the result? The result is this. So, yeah, of course, Mantra said this. Then immediately a loving mother turned inimical towards Ramachandra. She thought, oh, my son is going to become servant of Ram. And this is the intensity of association that she got from Mantra. And what is the reason for all this? She just paid oral reception. She said, okay, hear attentively, till the time you get corrupted by the thoughts of the other person. Right? And that's how she got corrupted. And what happened? The result is, she devised an evil plan and exiled Ramchandra. Was anyone happy with this? Of course, Lord Ramchandra was, equipoised. When he heard the news of coronation, he was not, extremely jubilant. And when he heard the news of sending him away to the forest, exiling to the forest, he was in the same, he had no change in his demeanor, or he was not carrying any ill feelings towards anyone. But then Bharata became affected. Dasharath died because of this, right? And Kaikeyi was also not happy because of this. After Bharata came from the other kingdom, and he came to know the news that Ramchandra is already in the forest, he became very angry. Who are you? Why did you ask such a boon? But then what did Kaikeyi say? No, who did you ask me to feed you milk when you were a child? I am there to take care of you. I am there to, do what is good for you. But then Bharata says that, I am sparing your life because killing you will not please Ramchandra. Otherwise, I would have killed you now. That's what he says. And he says, my only shelter is Lord Ram. He goes to the forest also, asking Ramchandra to come back. So these all things happen. But then the way she got corrupted in a very short span of time shows the intensity of, or the power of association, right? The way she associated with the thoughts of Mantra corrupted her. And because of which she quickly fell down, and became very selfish. So this is one of the examples. The second example that we see, Ajamila. You see the qualities of Ajamila, I just highlighted some of them. You read these qualities and try to contrast them with what I'm going to show the next slide, right? He was a reservoir of good character, good conduct, good qualities. He was very mild, gentle, kept his mind and senses under control, truthful, pure, respectful towards his spiritual master, right? He was free from false ego. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. never spoke nonsense to anyone, right? These are his divine virtuous qualities actually of Ajamila. But then what happened? One day, once upon a time, right? So he did not choose this. It just happened like that, He did not choose to. In fact, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that when he saw this lady and a man embracing in forest in a very uh, nasty way, actually, he tried to remember the words of his spiritual master. He tried to remember the words of Vedas and all these things. But then this was so intense that he couldn't keep his senses under control anymore. Now here, he is not even hearing. In the previous case, we have seen that Kaikeyi was hearing to mantra, right? Here, he did not even hear anything. He just saw something bad and he carried those thoughts with him. He started contemplating on those thoughts, right? Because of which, what happened? That is the result. Lost all his Brahmanical qualities because of the association, right? So association can be very subtle. Whatever we carry in our mind, we are actually associating with that. We have to be very vigilant. Like, mind is compared to like a tiger or a lion. You know how they tame tigers and lions? So they bring the tiger from the forest, they capture it, bring it, and after that they don't start feeding the tiger. What do? They keep the tiger on fasting. Like we have Nirjal fasting, right? Similarly, tigers are kept on fasting for a very long period of time. 10 days, 15 days, they don't even give water. At that time, tiger starts becoming very weak. He's just thinking, if someone just throws some food on my face, I am happy. Right? At that time, they throw a small piece of meat. They say, tiger eats. And then they say, okay, next piece will be there. They show the stick, go there. And the tiger goes there, walks there and eats. After some time, they put this ring of fire. And the food is on the other side. The tiger, jump and you will get the food from there. Tiger say, I'll be dead. But then, the food is there. I need to get the food. So he jumps over. So finally, tiger is under control by following this process. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada also says that our mind is like a wild animal. So if you don't control it by cutting off, the process of Ashtanga Yoga has this, Yama and Niyama. Cut off some of the luxuries that you are giving to your mind or senses. So the mind will be controlled, right? So in this case, Ajamila was unable to control his mind even after doing his best. And then what is the result? He started associating with his thoughts and he fell from his position. He lost all Brahmanical qualities. Not only that, you see, he gave trouble to others. In the previous slide we have seen he was so gentle, so kind, so pure-hearted. But then what happened? He started cheating people. He started becoming a gambler, right? And he also started directly plundering people, right? Because he wanted to get the association of this lady, and that is not free of cost. Nothing in this world is free of cost, right? Everything has some price. So he wanted to bring that prostitute and keep her in his home, and this is the price he was paying. And he lived like this up to his 88th year. At that time, he had the 10th child, right? And the whole story goes on. You all know what happened after that. He named the child as Narayana. And in fact, our Acharya says that some devotees must have visited Ajamila who helped name the child as Narayana, thinking about future of Ajamila. And that's what saved him, right? But then the whole thing is, right, we can also associate with our thoughts. In fact, we associate with our thoughts more than anything else. We associate with our thoughts only. And what we are today is nothing but what contemplation we have in our mind. Now let us see some good example or examples of good association. You know the story of Mrigari? Mrigari was a cruel hunter. He was living in a forest and his pleasure is in half killing animals. You know half killing? That he doesn't kill them fully. Right? He kills, he just throws an arrow and then he feels so much pleasure in looking at these animals flapping to death. That was his pleasure. And when Narada Muni came there, he saw this terrible condition of all these animals. And he said, who is this hunter who is half killing them? At least kill them fully. Right? Till this point, Ajamila was only getting criticism for his action. But then Narada is a very expert preacher. What did he do? He said, kill them fully at least. So this is the first time he is hearing that someone is asking me to kill animals fully. So then he went to Narada and he said, if you want some deer skin, tiger skin, I will provide. I see that you are a sadhu. But then what did Narada Muni do? I did not come for all this. He showed, in his hand he showed, see, this is your future. You are killing so many animals, you will also be killed like this so many times. He became afraid. Brigari became afraid. He then became very humble and he said, my dear Narada, tell me, what should I do? I am ready to do whatever you want me to do. Because he developed faith in the words of Narada Muni. He associated with the words of Narada Muni and he developed faith in the personality of Narada Muni. What is the first thing Narada Muni told him to do? Break your bow, throw it away. He said, how will I feed my family? You don't worry. You go back to your village, sit at your place, install Tulsi in front of you, start chanting the holy names of Krishna. Everything will be provided. Brigari had that faith. He knew when he goes back, he will be criticized by his family. But still, he had this faith. So what did he do? On the instruction of Narada Muni, he started chanting Krishna's holy names and then planted Tulsi and worshipping Tulsi. So, what is the result? Everyone started hearing that, this cruel hunter turned into a very nice gentleman, very flower-like person. Let us go and visit him. Nobody visits empty hands, right? They carry something with him. So, they were carrying some fruits, some vegetables, some cooked prasadam, everything. And it was so abundant for Brigari that he ate and there was so much left and he started distributing it also. Right? So, that's the potency of associating with a great soul. Now, when Narada visited him again, he was about to offer Dandavat Pranam, obeisances to Narada Muni, but then he started pushing off some of the, mud on the floor. And Narada and his friend Parvat Muni asked, what Narada, what is he doing? This is a different type of obeisances, kya? We all fall flat on ground, but he is doing something like this. Narada said, no, you see properly. This man, once upon a time, he was so cruel that he was killing animals. So many animals he killed actually. But now there are some ants on the floor, he is not even ready to harm them. He was just brushing them aside and to offer his pranams to us. Right? So this is the power of association. You see what kind of personality Brigari was and what has he become. Right? We'll look at more contemporary example now. This will be very exciting. Srila Prabhupada. What did he do? This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Gopis are singing this. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvigrinanti ye bhuridajana. Right? There are some great souls in this world who travel all across the world for the sake of others. Right? And one such acharya in our current times is Srila Prabhupada. What did he do? He came to the West. He actually has nothing, but instead of taking association of people here, he gave association to them. He was not influenced by people in the Western world. If a person like me comes, I came from India 3 years ago. Now I come here and I feel like, wow, this is such a nice place. And everywhere there is happiness. There is much more happiness, material enjoyment than what you can see anywhere in the world. And you become like, wow, I want to stay back here only. Anyways, I'm going to India soon. But then, the point is like we want to seek out happiness on a material platform. But what is Prabhupada's vision? When he came to the West, he said like, I see these people are suffering because of passion and ignorance. I want to give them the message of Bhagavatam. Krishna, please help me. Please make me a puppet in your hands and make me dance as you like. And sure enough, Krishna did that. You see, the translation of that last line is, these narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most magnificent. And Prabhupada was such an acharya who came alone, but then, he came like a needle, but he went out like a plow. Plow, right? That which is used to till the ground, right? So, he entered like a needle, but came out like a plow. Maya also does the same thing. Please remember, when Maya enters into our heart, she says, don't give me your entire life. Krishna, you can think of Krishna throughout your life. This one moment, please give me. That's all. And that's sufficient for her. You understand, right? So she only asks for this present moment. And she says, please postpone Krishna for some more time. Your entire life, you can think of Krishna, no problem. But then that one moment is sufficient because we are associating with a negative energy and then we are pulled down. right? This is another example. So what did Prabhupada do? By associating with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, hippies left behind all their inauspiciousness and they became pure Vaishnavas, right? So this is the power of associating with a great soul. Hmm? So we see great people everywhere. There are great politicians, there are great businessmen, there are great devotees. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Very clearly Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, these are great people actually. Who are they? Who take shelter of my internal potency and they constantly chant my holy names. These are the characteristics of great souls. Prabhupada was one such devotee. Right? So yeah, we have enough examples. Now I think we have seen 4 examples. Prabhu, I can go up to 6:30, right? Okay. I'll try to cover. We still have another 15 minutes. So now we'll see these 2 things. This is very interesting. I am taking this part from Bhagavad Gita. And the next part, the cycle of liberation, or the cycle of liberation from Srimad Bhagavatam. These 2 sections are very, very interesting. Krishna in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita says this. 2.62 and 6.3. What are they? I'll read the verses and I'll explain later. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshopajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibramaha smriti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So this is how the entire cycle happens. What are they? First is dhyayato, means contemplation. Right? That's what I told in the first slide. You are associating with whatever you are contemplating on. Right? So it all starts from here, a thought, right? Dhyayato, a contemplation. And from there what happens? This is at the thinking stage. That's what is written there, right? Then comes to one develops attachment, that is called Vishayan, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangha. Sangha means attachment or associating with that. From thinking to feeling stage, right? You are emotionally connected to that. Then what happens? Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Because of that association, you develop a desire. This is in the stage of willing and doing, right? I want to do something. So up to the stage of feeling, you still don't own the desire. But from the stage after that, you start thinking, this is my desire. I want to protect it. I want to enjoy it. Everything is in terms of I want to do it, right? So that is the doing stage. So it starts from a thought and that's how it continues. So from Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha and Kamat Krodho Bijayate. What does it mean? Because of that association you develop desire for that or lust for that, and from lust comes Krodha. If lust is not fulfilled or the desires are not fulfilled, you become angry. When you show anger on a bigger scale, you do much more, you in the sense not you, everyone, those who are like influenced by anger. It's a very powerful emotion, right? Sometimes people may burn something, sometimes people may kill someone because of anger, right? This is when the desires are not fulfilled. And if the desires are fulfilled, what will happen? It leads to greed, right? Kama leads either to greed or to anger. At some point in our life, we cannot fulfill all our desires. We are not Krishna. That we have to know very clearly. And we cannot fulfill all our desires. So at some point, material nature frustrates us. And at that time, we become angry. That's what Krishna is saying. You become angry, right? And from anger, what comes? Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha means what? Sammoha means delusion. You become deluded. You don't know what you are doing. That's why, right? When a person is in anger, he acts in a very different way than how we know him otherwise, right? Because he's under delusion. Sammoha smriti vibramaha. Smriti vibramaha means bewilderment. In fact, some of our acharyas actually comment it and say that smriti here refers to the smriti shastras, the scriptures. You forget the conclusions of the scriptures because of this being in this cycle. Smriti bhramsho buddhinasho, because of bewilderment, your intelligence is lost. And then buddhinashat pranashyati, a person actually, and then one falls down into gross material existence. This is a cycle of bondage. We contemplate on wrong objects, this is what is going to happen. And then what happens if we contemplate on right objects? Right? It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, Shushrusho Shraddha Dhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Shan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. when we faithfully start serving great souls by following their instructions. That is actually association, right? Then what happens? We actually develop taste for hearing and chanting. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Shanvatam Sokata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantastohi Abhadrani Vidhunoti Suhritsatam. You associate with great souls, you develop a desire to chant the holy names, hear about Krishna. And Krishna goes inside and he does the job of cleaning our heart, right? So it is said in Sikshashtakam also that the mirror of the heart is cleansed when you chant the holy names of God. That is what is happening. And then you become fixed in bhakti. And what is the result of getting fixed in bhakti? Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati ruttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtikim. This is called Nishtha Bhakti. Nishtha Bhakti means your bhakti is not disturbed because of the external elements that are coming into your life. Like, senses have so many inputs. Although these inputs keep coming into our existence like, rivers, you remain like an ocean. This example is also given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, right? You remain fixed like an ocean. Even after rivers pour into the ocean, the height or the level of the ocean never rises, right? Similarly, a person becomes fixed in bhakti. Then what happens? Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaye chetayetairana vidhim stitam sattve prasidati. A person becomes fixed. Stitam sattve prasidati. A person becomes fixed in the mode of goodness. This is transcendental goodness. That's what I told in the beginning, right? Good association brings us to goodness. So raja and tama, rajas and tamas are passion and ignorance. These are totally in the background. Right? They go completely to the background. Kamalobhadayaschaye chetayetairana vidhim stitam sattve prasidati. A person actually comes to the mode of transcendental goodness. What is the result of that? Evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vignanam mukta sangasya jayate. He gets liberated after that. Because this is the cycle of liberation, right? A person gets liberated by associating with great souls. You develop a taste for hearing and chanting, because of which Krishna cleanses our heart of all the inauspiciousness, because of which we become fixed in our bhakti practice, which will eventually liberate us, right? So both of these things start from where? Contemplation. That means association, right? We associate with those, with whatever we contemplate on, right? So that's how the whole thing says. Final stage is vidyate hridaya grandis chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyanti chasya karmani drishta evatmanisware. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as the master. So you become self-realized. That's the potency of associating with great souls, right? This is the end result. In the previous one, what was the end result? Get into the cycle of material existence. That's the end result, right? Let us, we'll just quote one or two more shlokas and then we'll complete it. So there are many places, as I said, in our Acharya's books, you will find about association of devotees. So here I am trying to keep three of the shlokas, which I found in Srila Prabhupada's books and also other places. But then these are the secrets of attaining perfection of life. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, this verse, Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kai Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Can you imagine? One small choice that we make to come to a Sunday program, associate with devotees here, exchange our thoughts with them, can change the entire course of our life. Right? That is the potency that the association of devotees has. And you know what is the time lava means? Lava means 1/11th of a second. What happens in 1/11th of a second? Nothing happens, right? But still, the association is so, here it is showed to highlight that, even that little association can have a tremendous effect on your destiny of your life, right? It is something like, you see all the aeroplanes going on everywhere in the cities, right? We see them in the sky. Now imagine if the pilot takes 1 degree deviation. 1 degree is nothing, right? It's very small deviation. But with that 1 degree deviation, let us say he travels 4,000 miles. So instead of ending up in Europe, he may end up in Russia. Correct? So that is how that 1 degree makes a difference. Similarly, this small little bit of association with devotees makes a tremendous difference or impact on our lives in a very positive way. So take it seriously. Let's go to the other shloka. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tulayama lavenapi na swargam na punar bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashishaha. So here the word bhagavat sangi sangasya is very, please remember this, I am quoting it again later. Bhagavat sangi sangasya means associating with those who are associating with Bhagavan. Right? Bhagavat sangi sangasya. Let us read the translation. The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter, and what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. So basically, if you associate in a right way with the devotees of the Lord, with devotees, acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, that is going to be the secret of our liberation. That's why I told, secret of attaining perfection of life. Right? That's the whole point actually. Next we'll read one from Bhaja Govinda Stotra by Shankaracharya. He tells about 3 places. He tells, I think, in 3 places about association of devotees in his Bhaja Govinda prayers. This is one place. Sassangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. So, from satsanga, that means right association, what develops? Detachment from material association. That's what you replace it basically. That's what it is, right? You replace bad association with good association. From nisangatva comes nirmohatvam, right? What is nirmohatvam? You become free from delusion. Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. When delusion is gone, you become fixed in your position. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. You become liberated because of that good association, right? So that is the secret of success in our spiritual life. Associate with right people. You will be, like Prabhupada in one place, he says that you will be dragged to success, right? Even if you don't like it, you will be dragged to success. When you are in the right association, it is very much possible. So we'll see these ABCD of spiritual life. We all might have heard this ABCD of spiritual life. Are A is association of devotees, B is books, C is chanting the holy names, D is diet. The prasadam that we accept, which is sacred food offered to the deities. But actually, these 4 are nothing but 4 types of association. Isn't it? The first one is direct. We associate with devotees of the Lord. The second is books. B is for books, which is nothing but associating with the thoughts of or contemplations of our previous acharyas. So Prabhupada actually said this, I live eternally in my books. What does it mean? You open book of Srila Prabhupada, you are actually associating with Srila Prabhupada. Then you have that submissive hearing from Srila Prabhupada, what he is saying, and you become influenced by that. Right? You change the course of your destiny. That's how it happens. B. C is chanting the holy names. We are trying to hear the names of Krishna while chanting the holy names. That is nothing but associating with the personal form of Krishna. Because the sound of Krishna and the form of Krishna, they are non-different. So in general, it is said like, in this world, Maya enters through our eyes and Krishna enters through our ears. It can happen the other way around also. When we see the deities, Krishna is entering through our eyes. When we hear some mundane music, Maya is entering through our ears. But then, generally it is the case that we first hear about Krishna, we become attracted to Krishna, and then eyes have a tendency to see everything that comes on its way. That's why many devotees practice this. While chanting, they close their eyes. Shut the shop. So, there are no customers. Right? So, that's the secret. I do the same thing. Don't allow any customers to come in. Already there are so many here. Right? So many there is a march past going on, we discussed, right? We don't want new customers now. We just want to close the shop and chant Hare Krishna, that's all. Right? So that is C. D is diet, the Krishna prasadam that we accept. That is nothing but associating with the mercy of the Lord. Krishna out of his causeless mercy provides us these food grains. Even with our so much of advancement, it is impossible to produce one food grain in the factories. It's impossible. Nobody can produce. They have to come from the farm, they have to depend on the rain, all these things are there. Correct? If we ask our young children, where do you get food from? They say, Papa, Patel brothers. No, it doesn't come from there, it comes from the farm. Right? We got disconnected already. That's a whole different topic. But then Krishna is providing us that food grains actually. If there is no rain, can we provide food? Is it possible? No. Right? We are dependent. That's what Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. You satisfy demigods, demigods will satisfy you. You milke maja karo. This is Krishna's principle, You be a material, that's okay, but still, have a right connection with, right people. Then you get your things done in this world. So actually, Krishna is providing those rains, and we actually associate with the mercy of Krishna by accepting prasadam. Right? So these are different forms of association. Now we are coming to the last slide of today's presentation. Choose your association wisely, because, as I said till now, our association is going to decide our destination. Whatever we are associating, whatever we choose to associate, that is our destination. You see, there is birth, B, you might have heard this, I am just repeating it once again for those who haven't heard this. B is birth, D is death. What is in between B and D? C. C stands for choice. Between birth and death, we have choice at every moment. Right? Choose right things so you can change your destination. If we choose wrong things, then we are in the wrong cycle. We are in the cycle of bondage. So with this verse I will close. This verse is very famous. I'll repeat it. I'll recite it. Mahat sevam dvaram ahur vimuktes tamo dvaram yoshita sangi sangam mahantaste samachitta prashanta vimanyavah suhruta sadhavoye. What does it say? Mahat sevam dvaram ahur vimukte. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. Again, rendering service can also mean giving water to them. That is Vapu Seva we call. Vapu Seva means serving their body, right? Physical presence. But then there is Vani Seva also. Vani Seva means associating with them through hearing. When we hear their instructions, we are actually associating with them. That is actually, it is said like, one can attain liberation because of that. And then I'll read the second line. Tamo dwaram yoshita sangi sangam. For those who are not interested in such activities, like the devotional activities, who associate with people fond of, opposite gender and sex. Here it is translated as women, but then it can also mean opposite sex. Anyone not in our sex. Those who are fond of such association, that path to their path to hell is wide open. Right? That will drag us down. One will take us to the top, one will drag us down. Right? So both are possible because of association only. So the concluding statement is that try to find such association which is elevating us. Right? Try to be a person who is like a honeybee. There is a honeybee and there is a housefly. Our consciousness can be compared to any one of them. Honeybee, even if there is a large pile of filth, and even if there is one rose flower in that, honeybee searches out and goes to that rose flower. Right? Similarly, even if it is a big rose garden and there is a piece of garbage, housefly actually goes there and sits there. Correct? So our consciousness can be of any type. We want to choose what we want to become. We want to be like honeybees, not like houseflies. Right? So that's, I'm not going to repeat this. Repeat in the sense like give a overview once again, because I have already covered in the beginning. With this I will stop. If anyone has any questions, I hope I'm a little late, Prabhu. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I did not see that. Anyone has any one question, we can take it. Otherwise, we'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kishore Prabhu, for this wonderful class. Before you all go for the prasadam, one quick announcement. As I mentioned last time, we do have opportunities for service. We have opened up a Seva Hundi, a donation box for your service, your time, It's very valuable. If you can provide like half an hour of your volunteership services, you can enroll outside. There's a big board there. There are half an hour slots available. We need help with serving upstairs. We need help with cleanup in the kitchen and also in the hall upstairs. So if you can spend that time, that will be really very grateful for all of you. So thank you so much. Now our prasadam will be in the third floor. So right from here, just stairs up, third floor. Thank you so much. Please do come back. We do have a wonderful kirtanier, a very special guest. His Grace Atmaram Prabhu, who's going to start the kirtan at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. Hare Krishna.
No, but you can get back on rhythm. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Here we go. No. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Din ta ti ta ke ta ge. Bhajani tare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, But speed it up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Ramana Ki Jai. That was super good. We should do this more often because there is less distraction because they're all upstairs and it's less output. So this is probably a good time to do it with a semi-public. Huh? You're serving prasadam upstairs now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have to go upstairs. Huh?
I gotta run.
I know, but it's the same place where you went. Oh, Jai, Jai. Hare Krishna.
So, since now on, they always gonna have prasadam.
Yeah, it's from now today on, so it's upstairs. So you better go. You want to leave your madunga here or under the thing? Or what do you want to? You was going to practice that other one?
Yeah, I wanted this one. Can I?
Yeah, real quick.
Sorry.
Hurry up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We could go slower.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So you just still have to practice that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I need to practice all these. Whatever you start.
Oh yeah, this Tuesday I don't know if I'll be able to make it in the morning time. I'll let you know. So in the morning, but not Wednesday. That's off limits for you.
Yeah.
new. Okay. This one.
The good one.
Yeah, this has less problems.
So now people start to have prasadam.
Yeah, this is the first Sunday they have it upstairs.
So
Unfortunately.
they will take,
I know forever.
they will come down around 7:45, something like that. Ay, 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 ay. Govinda.
And you know, for Japa, that go on, that could take forever. For Japa, that could go on forever.
Well, we have Krishna to sing for.
So you can adjust it, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I will adjust. Don't worry. I will try. Let's make it almost done, such way that I need to make the change. As this will become little lower.
Lower?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So we can start, no? So they need to be adjusted.
Louder?
Oh, is there the sound? Okay.
Turn it up a little.
Let's see. Oh, this is always good. So try this one. See, no? Shrita Kamala Kuchamandala He Drita Kundala He Drita Kundala Kalilala Lita Vanamala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Deva Hare You know this one? So, time to start, and then no mridanga, no karpa players. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasatya Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gaura Bhaktavri Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bo Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bolo Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kartals. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora, Haribol, Gora, Haribol. Nitai Gora, Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora, Haribol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna. Bolo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Boom! Hare Krishna. Don't wrong. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Don't run. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Don't run. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Don't run. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda 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 Govinda. Gopala 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 Gopala. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaura Premanandi. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Okay. Jai Govinda, Jai Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinodoya. Jai Govinda. Bolo, bolo! Keshava Madhava Dinodoya. Jai Govinda, Jai Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinodoya. Jai Govinda. Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya. Hey. Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu. Shama Sundara Kanayala, Girivardhari Nandadula. Shama Sundara Kanayala, Girivardhari Nandadula. Shama Sundara Kanayala, Girivardhari Nandadula. Shama Sundara Bolo! Girivardhari Nandadula. Nandadula Prabhu, Nandadula, Nandadula Prabhu, Nandadula. Nandadula Prabhu, Nandadula, Nandadula Prabhu, Nandadula, Nandadula Prabhu, Nandadula, Prabhu, Nandadula. Achyuta Kesava, Sridhara Madhava, Govinda Gopala Hare. 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 Jai Govinda, Jai Gopal, Kesava Madhava Dinodoya. Don't run. Jai Govinda, Jai Gopal, Kesava Madhava Dinodoya. Jai Govinda, Jai Gopal, Kesava Madhava Dinodoya. Jai Govinda. Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya. Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya. Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu, Dinodoya, Dinodoya Prabhu. Achyuta Kesava Sridhar Madhava Govinda Gopala Hare. Achyuta Kesava Sridhar Madhava Govinda Gopala Hare. Achyuta Kesava Sridhar Madhava Govinda Gopala Hare. Achyuta Kesava Madhava Govinda Gopala Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Bo, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Jai Govinda Jai Gopal Kesava Madhava Dinodoya Jai Govinda Dinodoya Prabhu Dinodoya Prabhu Dinodoya Prabhu Dinodoya Prabhu Dinodoya Shyama Sundara Kanayala Girivaradhari Nandadula Shyama Sundara Kanayala Girivaradhari Nandadula Nandadula Prabhu Nandadula Prabhu Nandadula Prabhu Nandadula Prabhu Nandadula Achyuta Kesava Sridhara Madhava Govinda Gopala Hari Achyuta Kesava Sridhara Madhava Govinda Gopala Hari Jai Govinda Jai Gopala Kesava Madhava Dinodoya Jai Govinda Jai Gopal Kesava Madhava Dinodoya Sisi Kishore Kishori ki jai Sisi Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai Sisi Gornitai ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Gaura Premanandi Suvaratri
Atma Rama Prabhu ki
Hare Krishna. Is it okay? Okay. Good night, Suvaratri. Welcome to Mongol Arctic, 4:30 in the morning tomorrow.